Hello and welcome to a brand new series in where I show you how to achieve the ultimate HM-2 complementary sound. Today in episode 1 we focus on what I consider clones of the HM-2 and, well, let's find out how they complement the chainsaw. So for this particular video, or rather series of videos, I have a rather complicated signal chain that I will show you right now. We start with my guitar, and this guitar goes into the KMA Audio Machine's pylon. This is a noise gate with an added boost, and the boost is deactivated the whole time. From the pylon it goes to the KMA Audio Machine's Tyler Deluxe. This is basically my parallel pedal, so that I can have two pedals in parallel. As you can see on the knobs, I've basically deactivated the high pass and the low pass. No boost, no clean blend, and the mix is right now full to the right channel. In the right channel I have the Boss HM-2. This is my made in Japan one. I've set the settings to my taste. On the left loop there is currently my DoD FX56 American Metal, because that's the first pedal that I want to try out. And from there it goes to my amp. This is the Porritt Smith MT15. I am on the lead channel, as you can see by the red LEDs, and this is the setting. I've already dialed it in. And here is presence and master, and from the amp it goes to the Zur reactive load box, and from there it goes into my interface, and I've chosen Jens Bogren Greasy Beard IR because I know this IR very well. So you don't see the amp anymore. This is the setup that we'll go with. I hope this mess doesn't bother you. If it does, buy me more cables. Okay, so here is the sound without any pedal, just the pylon noise gate and the Porritt Smith. Now let's activate the HM-2, and we also activate the Tyler and setting, so we only hear the HM-2 setting. Okay, so this is the chainsaw sound that we go with throughout the whole series. Now let's switch to the American Metal. Let's activate it. I've actually pre-dialed it, presence full, distortion noon, level around 3 o'clock. And let's hear how this sounds. So I really like this tone, and now let's mix those sounds. So I really like this setting where it's mostly HM2 and a little bit of American metal. I think the American metal adds a bit of, well, balls to the sound. It makes it a bit more bassy in a good way. But since both pedals sound really similar, I didn't expect much of a change in tone actually. So this is how the HM2 sounds with the dot American metal in parallel. So let's move on to our second pedal. And I've chosen the Idiot Box Effects Dungeon Master. I think this is as well kind of HM2 pedal, but different. So therefore, let's dial it in. So this sounds really gnarly, though I don't think it's this good for fast stuff, but well, we'll find out. Basically I have the highs full, volume full, drive to noon, and bass, I think with the low control, here with this knob, you can change the sound drastically. So, well, we have to find out how to use it. Anyways, activate it and let's mix it. So it also adds a bit lows to the sound. It takes away this chainsawiness sometimes, although I don't think this is my favorite combination actually, because this stuff has way too much gain, and as you could see, or I hope you could see, I dialed back the gain on the HM2. And well, yeah. Anyways, this is what the Boss HM2 sounds in parallel with an Dungeon Master. So next pedal. And the next contestant is the Buttock Audio Devices HM Demon. And if you remember my review of this pedal, I said that it's basically an HM2 from another dimension. Therefore I thought, well, this could complement the HM2 sound. So let's dial it in. And those settings, I have no idea how those sound. So this sounds really gnarly and way different than an HM2. So let's blend it. So finally, we go into territory where the second pedal in parallel makes actually sense, because this sound sounded surprisingly good. I preferred the sound with the mids at 0, because here the sound itself from the HM-2 isn't this special. I actually think it's a rather bad sound on its own, but in combination with the HM-2, awesome. Actually quite transparent. So this is how the Boss HM-2 sounds in parallel with the Buttock Audio Devices HM-Demon. I think it's a sleeper. Next and last. So for the last part of this video, I chose the KME Audio Machine's Wurm 2. I could have used the Guardian of the Wurm or the Wurm 1, but I chose the Wurm 2 because I don't wanna toy around with this much of the frequencies, but I want to simply have an easy access to the EQ curve of the high mids, and well, I'll show you in a minute. So as of right now we have the HM2 setting, so let's dial in an HM2 sound, because I think it already is. So let's blend it with the HM2. So a surprisingly good combination. The Wurm 2 sounds actually rather close to the HM2. It's just a bit more modern, I think. And this modern touch actually adds transparency, if you ask me. But I hope that the Wurm EQ style will do much more to the sound. So therefore, back to Wurm and activate the KME EQ style. Now let's dial it in. Now let's blend it with the HM-2. So I actually prefer the KMA EQ style because the sound is so different that it nicely fits into the chainsaw territory. It adds, well, it kind of adds more mids and more bass. It just sounds awesome in my ears. So yeah, there you have it. This is how the HM-2 sounds in parallel with the Boss HM-2. So you could basically tell that the closer the pedal sounds to an original HM-2, the more useless it was to blend in, or there was less benefit. It didn't add anything to the sound. That's for the American metal as well as for the Dungeon Master. I don't think I would use this, at least in this particular setup. You always have to remember that I only use a very specific setup. It was just one amp and a parallel pedal, so your results might vary. However, when I put the HM Demon and the HM-2 in HM mode in combination with the HM-2, I really liked what I heard, because both pedals sounded the way I set them up so different that there was really a benefit, and it made the HM-2 sound more unique, gnarlier, fuzzier, but in a good way fuzzy, and just more brutal. So my picks out of those four pedals would definitely be the HM Demon and the HM-2. And that's actually no surprise, because I used the original HM, but in HM-2 mode, for Nightbearer's first record, Tales of Sorcery and Death, in combination with the HM-2. So I already knew what sounded good. Well, I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, have you ever tried out pedals in parallel with the HM-2? If so, which pedals? Especially let me know if you tried any other HM-2 pedals. And be sure there will be at least 2 more episodes with other pedals. But if you have any recommendations, just leave them in the comment box below. And if you want to support this channel, check out the links in the description. Well, and with this said, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my Instagram. May the force be with you, and have a nice day.